journey. In 2011, one of the men who was involved with radionics in South Africa was part of my meditation group when I left Zimbabwe and joined an old meditation group in Joburg. He asked me if I would work for world peace. So of course, being a typical Zimbabwean, I said, of course I will. But how? He said, Penny, will you go to Istanbul? I said, but I only got back yesterday from Istanbul because I had been on a tour with my mining engineer husband, who happened to be, consider his education lacking in the artistic world, and was studying ancient history. So we had just done a tour of all the artistic creations around the world. Last stop, Istanbul. So he said, will you go to Istanbul? I said, but yeah, I only just got back. So I said, but now what? He said, I need your CV and specifically your spiritual roots and what you've done in your life. So I said, with pleasure. The next minute, he met my husband to make sure that he was all right with it, because he said, you can't go with her. You can travel there, but you can't go with her into session. So now I'm getting more and more curious about what I'm getting involved with. Anyway, the next minute I got the request that I fly to Istanbul and meet the main lady. Let me introduce you to her. She doesn't speak English. She is a Turk, born in Anatolia. She is Madame Bülent Çorak. She turned 100 on Wednesday. Now, this amazingly dynamic woman, and I cannot speak to her without just bursting into tears. She is Rumi, incarnated, reincarnated. So knowing that, I knew I'm going into the presence of a high being who has the frequency of the love energy of the Christ. She wrote the greatest love poetry of all times in the 13th century as a Persian mystic, Sufi. So this is the woman who's responsible for bringing through this book. You can see by the color that it belongs to the seventh ray, which is the Aquarian age color of Saint Germain and the violet flame. So she represents all of our elders and is the spokesperson for the whole tribe. Now, when you think of the elders, most of us are educated by the Tibetan's teachings through Alice Bailey and through the White Brotherhood. Now, she tells us that the White Brotherhood is incarnated on the planet at present because of the urgency of the acceleration of our evolution, and that we all now have a clear channel to source, because it's vital that we use our own hearts and minds to move and grow in consciousness as rapidly as possible. Now, when I think of my roots, I'm educated by Roman Catholic nuns, not a Roman Catholic, fascinated by everything to do with Buddhism, Hinduism. I have fascination all my life with every religion. So when they heard that, and they heard what I'd come from, and the life I've led, being married to a mining engineer who zapped me around the world, living in Brazil, learning new languages, living in Zambia, learning obviously quite at home there, partly in South Africa, but many gold mines, over 30 homes. She decided that I was okay to represent Africa, and that because I have an international attitude to life, I am no specific religion. I belong to what they call the universals. All of us who believe that every religion is just another route to source are on the universal wavelength. And I think all of us in this room have moved probably beyond religion into that space of accepting whatever you are, you chose, you born into, That's your bottom line. That's your basis of comparison. But you also accept every other body that is relevant to this planet. And the whole idea of the knowledge book, this huge tome here, it fuses all the sacred texts into one. So it embraces Old Testament, New Testament, Psalms of David, the philosophies of the Far East, and the Quran. And all of them are vital because they all carry the information needed by the consciousness of their time. Now, the first teachings were given in Tibet because the Alpha Channel, which is the source of the sacred text, has one direct line from Spirit. And that doesn't change. But because of the Earth's wobble, its focus has changed. So in the time of the first teachings, the Alpha Channel was over Tibet. And they got the teachings of the Tibetan, as we know, Dwalkul's teachings, and meditation teachings. That was fundamental to humanity. Then the Alpha Channel came over Egypt, and Moses came in with the teachings of the Kabbalah. Now, the teachings of the Kabbalah was too high for humanity at that time, so they brought in Jesus in the next 2000 period. He belongs to the third order of the Lord, as they say. The third order involved the love teachings to get humans to open their hearts to each other, and that's all very well. Apparently the planet has taken the Christ consciousness. 3/4 of the world is open to an open heart and the teachings of the Christ. At the same time, in the same time period of those 2,000 years, Muhammad had to come in to alter the warring situation in his country and to bring in the knowledge of how society must behave. This is all the laws of a society. So it's all very well having an open heart, but unless you've got a society that functions, you've just got chaos. So Muhammad and Jesus came into the same time frame, same area, to work together. They were never meant to create schisms or different sects. That wasn't the plan at all. So Mavlana is now the one who has taken the contract to download the Alpha Channel in Anatolia, where it is focused at the moment. So Anatolia is the country of mission at this moment in time. She, in her 40s, got a message, you have now got to take your contract. She said, no, thank you, I'm having a wonderful life. She was highly privileged, daughter of an attaché to Ataturk, military attaché, an only child in a very privileged society. No thanks, I got enough, I'm happy. Lovely life. They said, you agreed to take this contract. You are to integrate the world. And she said, well, I will do it, provided I can take the whole world. In fact, you make it possible for me to bring every human on the planet into a space of awakening. Now, what a hell of a task. There she is, born a Muslim and with a Christ consciousness, and she has to bring through this book. Now, the knowledge book, when you read it, is a very difficult English. It's not Tibetan's these and thous. It's high English, but it's complicated. And there's a lot of terminology which was not familiar to me. So when I saw the book, I knew immediately I was going to write that book. But I thought, I'll read it, I'll see a quote, I'll write it down. No. When I went to meet her, she said, Penny, I need you to take the frequencies of this book. Now, this is all through a translator. The book is a living book. It's written by what they call the light photon cyclone technique, which is unknown to our world. Now, I want to show you. These are photographs taken by an Indian doctor, Dr. Sujata Vadia. She's a medical doctor, and she took photographs of the knowledge book. This is the energy field around it on different days. Now, you will see there are no colors like this on our planet. You will not see any of this. Sorry. Sonia, can you see the knowledge book in the middle and the auric sphere? And it's 360 degrees. If she photographs an inanimate object, it's usually got a sliver of an aura, and it's nothing like this in color. So she actually took these when she came to talk in Istanbul and gave these to us as a gift. So this is just to show you the intensity of this book. Now the idea of it is that we raise our consciousnesses by reading it, because you actually shifted. You're at a cellular level as you read. But if you write it, you take it even faster. And she said, Penny, if you are to take this responsibility, you have to be able to write it. Now, I didn't know if I could, because not everyone can. You know, some can't write a single word. Some get going and they just can't carry on. I found that I got very hot while I was writing, and I'd start making mistakes. Then I knew, Penny, you're saturated, stop. She said to me, Penny, you'll write it in 6 months. And I could not believe that. I thought, write that. I'm used to writing because I'm a teacher, but hell, in 6 months, that's going to be a tall order. They ask you to write it in 62 weeks because there are 62 chapters, and we are asked to write 1 a week. If you do it, you are recognized by system, as they call the elders now, just for want of a better word. There are a whole series of councils in that dimension, and the name for them is system. So basically, if you can write it in 62 weeks, they acknowledge that you have fulfilled your contract on this planet, no more incarnations for you. And you do it on behalf of your whole family. So, of course, you know, she accepted me based on my artwork. As an art teacher, I couldn't communicate what I did in any other way than my artwork, because you know, when you teach what I taught in Zim, which was life alignment, it's so abstract. I couldn't explain kinesiology, muscle testing, you know, picking up the auric sphere. That was not in their vocabulary. So I took my artwork, which was all symbolic of the ray energy, symbolic, obviously, of the astrological dimension, everything which is universal. And she looked at it and she said, this is channeled. I said, no, I'm not a channel. I am just a recorder of other people's knowledge. Now, I don't have that skill. And she looked at me seriously and she said, this is channeled. So I said, all right, I accept then. I have a gift of fusion and obviously of an artistic nature. You're welcome. Of putting things into visual so that it makes an impact. Anyway, she said, Penny, I accept this work. I'm putting it in our archives. And then I knew she had accepted me. And then I knew it was up to me to write that book and to take responsibility. So that is what I have done. And then I said, now how do I move forward? She said, please, will you start a group of 3, because energy always flows in a triangle, as you already know. And you find 2 others. There should be people on your wavelength who are willing to write with you. And you connect to us every week. I make the phone call. We study always on a Tuesday, because the world studies on a Tuesday. Doesn't matter what time. And so in Joburg, there are 3 lots of us, and we're all studying at different times, all different times. But I had to get 10 lots of 3 going in Johannesburg before they asked me to get a vortex of 21 brains. So I summoned all of the guys that were already writing and committed. Said, look, she wants us to meet as 21, so that we can be recognized as a group brain. because that is the bottom line for connecting. And once we form, we then study together one day, we meet in meditation the next day. But that's only when I succeeded in that. Now we were rolling, we were doing well. And then COVID came along and none of us were allowed to meet. So we all sort of connected via phone and we carried on. But at the end of COVID, a couple of us had to leave the country and we didn't have our number. So then we, as soon as Mavlana, that's her name, Mavlana was Rumi's name, it means servant of God. As soon as she was allowed to receive people, she summoned us, 3 of us, and said, look, you have a new program in Africa. We need you to form 3 groups of 18, not 1. So I thought, oh my hat, you know, people are so busy, they're even more frenetic than they were before COVID. And I thought, well, I have enough solar teachers. A solar teacher is one who's written a book, have at least 12 committed. We should be able to manage this. We are in 3 groups now trying to do that. But I thought the people who are most suited to this work, the people of the most high frequency that I've met in my life are Zimbabweans. I need to get back there and I need to help them. Whoever's meant to will know if they are one of us. You know you light workers, the whole jolly lot of you, because you wouldn't be here if you weren't. You hold the values for the golden age, which is what the knowledge book is about. It's to show you all the mistakes of religion, all the falsenesses that have been taught, and to help you understand the progress and the way that the elders have worked to raise our consciousnesses, so that we can integrate as humanity before we become a sacred planet. Earth is moving into sacred planet status. According to the Hindus, we're coming out of Kali Yuga, the darkest period in history, and we're moving into the golden age. And the golden age began in the 19th century. And it started big time with our forerunners, with all those who came into Africa and had to integrate. And now, in the 23rd century, we are initiating the golden age. We are the forerunners of a golden age. And the sign of it is the open heart and the powerful mind. That is called the essence with a capital E. The moment you link heart and mind, you have the balance to connect to what they call the mechanism of influences, which is guiding us now. This is all new terminology to you. But the knowledge book says you are not puppets. You are not robots. You are being oriented. So those of us who have incarnated to actually share this knowledge, it's all written down. It's just a case of sharing your energies to reflect to the rest of humanity. This is what is asked for now, because each one of us connects, has the coordinate of 1,000 others on our wavelength. No matter if we never meet them, they are out there in the universe. And if we can only come together and just stop judging others, stop thinking we're superior, that such and such a religion or such and such a nation is superior to another. We are on our way to integration. We can't join our universal brothers unless we go as a united body. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does make sense.
So folks, if you have any queries, please feel free to ask, because otherwise I'm going to give you my speech. In 2016, I was asked if I would be one of the world speakers. She has 12. She said, I'm 100, turning 100, I can't travel anymore. Please, I need you. And most of my fellows there were world speakers. That was their profession. I thought, what the hell am I doing here? But she asked me to go back, especially because I was the only African. And so she invited me back, and she asked me, amongst all this erudite company, Penny, will you take the responsibility? And I thought, shucks, I'm not a speaker. I'm a teacher, but I haven't got the voice. But there's no one else. I must.
You're doing very well.
Thank you, thank you. Anyway, I said, I will take it on, and then I had nightmares. And then after that, I dreamt of all the privileges that I've had. Born in Zimbabwe, best education in the place with the nuns, obviously given a religious doctrine, but I didn't have to go to Catholics to any catechism, and ended up in the art room. So I'm one of those free spirits that has the freedom to communicate. And then trained by Del Smith. I mean, can you get a more enlightened being who obviously has given us her wisdom? End up in Johannesburg, meeting Wim Arliss, this other bright spark who looks like J.C. Smuts, another light worker. He says, Penny, I need you to take over from me in Istanbul. Sure, and I'm propelled. It's just like I'm on this huge roller coaster. You aren't getting off it, girl. And then I'm committed to giving a speech. Now, what in the earth does that mean? I mean, I've got good English. You write a speech a month with a PowerPoint, because I'm not techno-savvy, so all of this work is my fellow speakers. There's 2 young men that work with me, and I have to write a speech a month and give it every month, no matter where I am in the world. So I'm here, I'm going to give it to you now, and I thought, my God, this is the 72nd speech I've written. It's actually dropping you right in the deep end, because I gradually shared what I learned with Del, all the Tibetan's wisdom, all that I got from the Far Eastern philosophies. That was my roots. And I shared that with them because they hadn't heard about Walco. And then I carried on as I was guided. One of my clients left me a whole library. So, I've been blessed. And this is the 72nd speech. So I'm going to do it for you now. Please, if I'm taking too long, don't feel bad about slipping away. But this is a speech about Amon-Ra, who is the leader of the Golden Galaxy Empire. Now, we are moving into Golden Age. You must understand it's the Golden Galaxy Empire that is impacting on us. And it's impacting by reflection, because they are far too high a frequency to enter our dense world. We are 0 frequency, 3rd dimension. Madame Churak is 115th dimension, alien planet. Just so you know the difference. She's had to become densified in order to communicate with us. So folks, I'll just send that out. Show you the symbol of the World Brotherhood Union. We are known as sunflowers, the sun being the heart of the universe, and our open hearts are suns. So we are known as sunflowers. And the triangle in the middle is naught. At the top, that's the Almighty, the one the Hindus say naught, about which naught may be said. Then you've got K on one corner, Katariki is Jesus, and M on the other corner is Muhammad. Those are the 3 major impacts on our religious education. And in the center is the triangle of Mavlana, who represents humanity. And I, speaking to you, represent the omega frequency, the scientific frequency, which is the red triangle coming down, which is bringing the new technological information to take us into the future. And when you combine those 2 triangles, you get the Merkaba, which is the light body. So when we transit, the idea is that we become so engrafted with higher energies and frequencies that our chakras and our subtle bodies become fused, become whole. Because as we are at the moment, we're too fractured to pass into the higher frequencies. We have to integrate our own beings, and the knowledge book facilitates that, an engraftment at cellular level. If we have the interest of all religions, it is because we have got the genes of all the masters.
Can we not tilt that down so that you don't have to strain your voice?
I will. Let me just get this.
Penny, just check your HDMI cable. I think it's come unhinged because we've got nothing on the big screen here.
It might have gone to sleep again. Remember?
Big screen. There we go. Mm. Are you going to sit for this, Penny?
I'd rather stand, but I have